to stress on today. It's a different kind of disinformation related to UNRWA. I think we raised a lot the question of the disinformation and the attack, political attack on the agency. But I have noticed over the last few weeks that there is a perception that the agency is not operational in Gaza or in the West Bank. And we even heard today at the Force Committee the representative of Israel saying that UNRWA has been fully replaced and other agencies have stepped in. And I think it's important that we correct this perception. It is true that there is today two bills adopted by the Knesset. You are all very well aware, which started to be implemented as from the end of January. The impact was on the operational presence in East Jerusalem, primarily our schools. And the second impact has been that we had to withdraw our international staff both from the West Bank and Gaza. But in reality, we are extraordinarily operational. In Gaza, we still have 12,000 staff. They are primarily involved in providing, focusing in public health and in education. They have never ever stopped providing life-saving assistance to the population. And since the ceasefire is in place, they have scaled up their activities across the Gaza Strip. Just to give you a few examples, I shared also examples this morning at the Force Committee, but we have currently about 75,000 people who are sheltered in 100 of our premises across the Gaza Strip. We have, over the last 2 years, provided more than 15 million primary health consultations. Today, the average is about 14,000 a day. We have just started with UNICEF and WHO again a vaccination campaign, and I keep saying, that these are good examples of a partnership on the ground. We have UNICEF bringing the supply, the vaccine. We have WHO in charge of the cold chain, but the nurses, the staff providing to the children the vaccine are all health staff from UNRWA. We are also very much involved in ensuring access to clean water. I would say today about 40% of the clean water is thanks to the work of our engineer on the ground. And then we have also the education. You heard me many times on how important I believe education is in this kind of environment, and why we have to make it our collective priority. Our colleagues on the ground have already started to bring back in-person learning environment 40,000 children. We are aiming at bringing 100,000 children in a one-on-one learning environment before the end of the year. And in parallel, we are also providing online learning and education to about 300,000 children. I believe that this is important to avoid that the risk to completely lose an entire generation. Anyway, it's a race against the clock, because we are very close to that. And if we lose an entire generation, and if the rubble and the trauma becomes the new learning environment, there is indeed a risk that these children in the future be exploited and join armed groups or be radicalized. I think it's also important to remind that in the West Bank we are also very active. Our schools are open. We have about 50,000 children in our schools. By the way, the number of children has increased. We registered an increase of more than 4,000 kids coming from the PA schools back to the UNRWA schools. And when it comes to primary health, we have also provided into 2025 more than 700,000 health consultations. And we have been also very active at the time of the military incursion in North-West Bank, Jenin, Tulkarem, and so on, to provide emergency assistance to the displaced family. So here are just some examples of what the agency does, but all this to say that with 12,000 staff in Gaza, 4 to 5 in the West Bank. In the West Bank, we are the second biggest employer of a civil servant, and in Gaza we are the main employer. So we remain, despite contrary to what it's being conveyed, the main agency. I had the chance also this week to issue an opinion paper about what I believe the role of the agency should be in the future. I do believe that we are and remain an extraordinary asset at the disposal of the international community, especially when it comes to ensuring critical services for the population in Gaza, and hence through this to make any effort towards early recovery or stabilization a success. And if you get rid of such expertise, such workforce with an organization having very strong trust from the community, you can only weaken, in fact, any effort trying to promote stabilization. So basically, that's what, it's a very simple message I wanted today to convey about let's do absolutely no mistake. The agency against all odds, despite all the pressure it has been under, continue to be highly operational.